Hey YouTube, this is m1911 again, and this is the next update on the paper 1911. I think it's update 4, and today I'll be teaching you on how to make the magazine well for the pistol. And the magazine well is the part of the gun that houses the magazine. It keeps it in line with the chamber of the gun, make sure the bullet is aligned, and this little space right here is for the trigger bar to go through, and and the top part of it is the part that the trigger slides across, the bottom part of it. And I'll show you the picture right here. And there, this bottom part here is what I'm talking about. This whole area. This is the inside view, and you can see how the top of the magazine well, the bottom half anyways, is you can see the little channel for the trigger to go through. I don't know if anyone doesn't know that, so I might as well just explain that. And then so I'm just going to show how to do the bottom half right now in this video, and the second part I'll show you how to do this part, which is really complicated because of this whole area right here. But I've developed a method for it, and I think it'll work pretty good. And it takes some time to do it, because what I want to note is that the frame is one of the most important parts of the pistol, because if you get the frame made right, then the rest is going to be easy. Because if you get this made right and you go and make one of the smaller parts like the hammer, and it turns out wrong, well, you can just make that again and it's easy, and you know it'll fit in the frame. So that's why I take time to make sure everything's right and explain it really good to you guys. So let's get started. So first what you'll need is 4 sheets of paper, and you'll need to cut it. It's about 4 inches from the bottom here to the top, 4 inches. And what I did is I just got a piece of paper like this, normal size piece of paper, turned it this way, and got a ruler and put it on the side there and measured 4 inches on this side, then measured 4 inches up on this side, and drew a line across with a ruler going this way. So that's how, if you don't have a T-square like I do, see, I got a T-square here underneath there, and there's also one built into the drafting table here. See right here, it moves up and down across the table. So, let me move that camera back a little bit. Okay. So anyway, once you get these 4 pieces of paper, this width, 4 inches, 3 of them is going to actually be the body of the magazine well, and then the 4th one you're going to put around the magazine to give a little space, because if you don't put that first piece of paper around the magazine when you're making it, the magazine will be tight-fitting when it goes in there, and you don't want that. You want it to be easy to go in and out. So that's why you put that first layer around there, which will not actually be used in the magazine well. It's just a spacer pretty much. Okay, so what I suggest you do is, if you have a magazine, then just use that. If you don't have a magazine, then I'll probably upload a video of how to make it, and a shout out to Dr. Churro. He got a really good idea on a way to make it, so I'll probably be uploading that video sometime here in the near future, showing you how to make your own magazine template, I guess you'd call it, just to make the magazine well if you need to, and also how to make a magazine, your own magazine out of paper, which I have one here somewhere. Let me see. Let's see, where'd I put that? Thought I had it here somewhere. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, here's the magazine that I made with the spring made out of a spiral notebook. But anyway, I'll upload that video in the near future. But so once you have the 4 sheets of paper cut in this way, what you'll do is get your magazine or your magazine template and get one of the sheets and just get a piece of tape like that and put it across and tape the piece of paper on there and wrap it around. I'll put it too close. So you put it like that. Put the tape across. And then just wrap it around one time and then cut it right there, because you don't want two wraps around, you just want one. So let me just pretend like I cut it. I'm just going to rip it here. So it'll be like that. And then what you'll do is tape that end down. So I'll get some tape and then just put it across there. Make sure that there's no I did it sloppy. Make sure that when you're taping it that it's there's no wrinkles in it. Okay, and I know I got a wrinkle in there, but make sure there's no wrinkles and make sure it's straight across and not sloppy like that. Sorry I didn't do it exact there. But after that, what you'll do is, let me move the camera again. Get one of the sheets of paper, and then you'll turn it to the back of the magazine, facing that way. Put the paper lined up with the end right there, and get 2 pieces of tape, small pieces. Okay, you can. I suggest actually using painter's blue tape or Scotch. Just the tape that doesn't have much stick to it. And then put it on the end, like I said, and then tape this part right here toward the front of the magazine. And I'll explain to you why this is important to do. Alright, tape it on there. Okay, so I got tape right there and right here. So next, what you'll do is wrap the paper around once. Make sure it's tight. Then, when you come around again, you get the glue, which I don't have any glue right here. The second at the table. Let me just point. You get the glue, and you just put some super glue across right here, and kind of spread it out with, you know, if you got a dowel or whatever you use to spread it on there. You spread it across the part right there, and then push the paper down, and just get it stuck right there. And then after that, you want to take off the pieces of tape. Okay, so just take it off on both sides. And the reason why the tape was important there was to hold the paper in place while you're doing this step. But once you already got it glued right there at the little point right there, then you don't need the tape anymore. So once you have the tape taken off, you just keep on gluing and spreading around here and putting the paper over it, and just continue and until you got it all the way around. Make sure it's tight when you go around. Don't leave wrinkles or anything like that. It'll mess it up. But make sure it's completely tight. You know, you might have to pull it and then push it down. So what you're going to do is do this 2 more times with the last 2 pieces of paper that you cut out. And the reason why you do this is because the thickness of the paper, of the magazine well, I don't know if you can see this. Let's see. I have it drawn out. The thickness of the magazine well is 0.1 inches. Okay? Let's see that. It's kind of big. It's going around. So since the thickness on the sides here is 0.1 inches, I did the math here. 0.1 inches subtract 0.0615, which is the thickness of the outer frame that you did earlier. So you subtract the thickness of the magazine well, subtract the outer frame from that, and you get this number, 0.0385. Okay. Then you take that number, 0.0385, and divide it by 0.005, and that's the thickness of a piece of paper, an average piece of paper, and that gives you how many layers you need. 7.7 layers, which I just went down to about 7 layers, just to account for some of the glue. And since one of these cutout sheets makes 3 layers, when you wrap it around, you'll need approximately 3.5 sheets, or just say 3 sheets, which is why I had you get 3 of these to wrap around, not counting the original spacer sheet. Okay, so now that we got that down, hope I'm not going too fast here, but it is a video. Let's see what let me find it. Okay, what you're going to do when you get finished with it, it's just going to be, of course, a long tube looking thing just like that. And so you're going to need to cut it to fit in the area right here. Okay? And when you do cut it, it'll end up looking something like this. And there's going to be a whole slit cut in the back. And the way I did that is I used my Dremel here. But a lot of you I know don't have a Dremel, so the other alternative is using, the whatever blade you have. It could be an X-Acto knife or a box cutter. Just make a light cut. Make a light cut with your knife on the lines that you make, which I'll show you how to do that in a second. And then eventually get harder and harder when you're cutting, and you'll be able to cut through it, and then sand it afterwards. But the way you get to lines is you print out the blueprints to the right size, and I'll show you how to do that on other video, the first video I think, or maybe the second one, how to scale it. And you might have to use trial and error to get it, depending on your computer. Try to get the dimensions of this inside view of the blueprints to the same as the one you cut out, your outer frame. And when you do that, it'll have the lines already drawn where you need to cut for the mag well. Follows around here, then follows around here, then stops right there and goes across, and then goes right around here and over. So once you print out the scale size drawing, blueprint, then you can just cut out that area section and tape it on here, and then just cut on the lines there. Say you have this and you put it on top of there, and then just tape it and then cut on the lines And when you're done, it should look like that. Except you might notice how it kind of has a curve here. You shouldn't have a curve. It should keep on going straight across. Just like that. See, it's going straight across. And I'll show you where it's supposed to go. I already made this section of it. This is a previous one I made to show y'all. See the magazine wells in there, and see, I haven't cut out the center there yet. And the magazine well also makes the handle, the round part of the handle there. You can see how it fits in there. And this one, it's not actual size or anything really. It's just to show you all an example of how it's supposed to be. And you can see how I pasted the inside drawing on the outside, so you can see where the line is. And the trigger would slide right in there. And this magazine well actually doesn't have that little slit in the back like it should. But after you've already made this shape by cutting it out, what you're going to do is again print out the rear drawing. It's on the same page as this. It's just over here to the left, and it's the back view of the pistol. And you'll want to print that out scale size, and you do that by, of course, zooming. When you tell it to print, you change the zoom higher, or you might have to do trial and error to figure out what you need to do for that, and use your calipers to measure some of the measurements on there and see if it's right. And if it is, then you've printed out the scale. So once you print out the back view here with that little slit, the slit right here, then you'll cut it out and paste it on the back of your magazine well that you made, right here. Well, actually not on this one, because you've already cut it out. So you say you've already cut it out like this, and then you'll paste that part on the bottom here, and then again cut out through the paper, so you'll know where to cut, or draw it, or however you trace it, and that'll tell you where to cut that little slit there. And then also you'll need to cut a slit over here, which I haven't done on this one. It's in this area, and that's to allow for the trigger to go through right here, and the what do you call it, the magazine release to go. And the best way I know to tell you is to get your magazine, or you can print out the blueprint of the magazine, and let me unravel this. And once you print out the blueprint of the magazine, or hold up your own, you'll hold the magazine or the picture up to this and see where this hole right here is, and then cut the hole right where it is. So it's about right here. So draw a line there and go up. So it almost looks like this part of the magazine right here. And I wish I'd already done that for y'all to show you. But yeah, you'll just cut in this general area right here. Cut it out. I'll just say, I think it's on both sides, and just hold up the magazine and figure out where it is on both sides. And again, that's to allow for the trigger, the magazine release and the trigger itself. Okay, so once you have this part made, then you will first of all, get your magazine or the one you made and put it in, make sure it fits, and if it does, then make sure that this is the right dimensions and everything, measure it out, and what you'll want to do is a good idea is to get that scale blueprint that you printed out and paste it or hold it up to the inside of your frame here and draw the lines across where the trigger channel is supposed to be, so you'll know if this stops at the right place for the trigger to go through. And if it does, then you're ready to also draw the lines from there all the way down. And that's where the magazine well will end. And you'll put it even with the bottom, and make sure it aligns with the trigger channel here, which this one doesn't because it's not made for this one. But you get the idea. And it should, the space between the trigger channel should be, it says 0.792 inches wide. See the trigger channel there? It should be 0.792. Okay. So, when you're done, it should look something like that. You know, despite the hole not being cut there or there. Although there, you know, it does kind of have a hole there. You can see through you should be able to see through the holes there. And it should be round. After that, you're ready to cut. After you've glued this on. Sorry about that. Let me get that. Okay. Once you have gotten your magazine well and glued it on that area, I just suggest glue it on this one side to start right now, and keep it off the other side later. We'll put that other side on when we build everything in the middle. But once you have it glued on there, then you're ready to, well, you can start cutting now if you want, right here. Or I would actually suggest that you wait to cut until we're finished with the rest of the gun, just to make sure it's sturdy. Okay, so just hold off on cutting in the middle here out. Just keep it there for now, unless you want to. I mean, you can if you want to. It's your free choice. But now you are done with the magazine well. And the next video I should be making the next part of the upper part of the magazine well, which is this is an example of it, which is going to go up here like that, and then the piece that goes right here. Well, I'll decide how far I'll go on the next one, but stay tuned and subscribe if you like what you see and like my tutorials. I try to give a little bit of history with each one, or how stuff works. That's a big thing with me. So stay tuned for the next episode. See you later.